Okay, we are now live. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? My name is Juwan Rohan. This is the Misguided Podcast. We're intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with Darrell Wonge, Director of Photography. How are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I guess it's afternoon for you. Where are you currently located?
Right now I'm in Toronto, Canada.
Nice. When did you get in?
Uh, Late last night. Came
Yeah.
from Montreal from doing a commercial shoot.
Okay. Where'd you come from?
Montreal.
No. Oh, okay, okay. So what is how quick's that flight?
About like an hour and a half.
That's not that bad. It's like, yeah,
Uh,
not that
that's
bad. Cool,
not
cool.
too bad.
Nice. Well, I've never been to Canada. Every time I tried to go to Canada, it's just always been freezing temperature. Because I've always wanted to go like on my birthday, but January is like the worst time to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're better off in the summertime.
Yeah. So I always get stuck like I'd rather be in like the Caribbeans or something for my birthday. But that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Does your job keep you traveling a lot to especially cool places you've never been before?
It is now. It's starting to be more. I'm more new into the film game compared to a lot of other people. I've only been doing films since I retired from ball a couple years after I retired from ball. So now I'm getting to a level where they're flying me out different places to go film.
That's super dope. That's super dope. Yeah, we'll get into it for sure. Before we start, I like to give a little background of how I found you, and just so the audience knows. So scrolling through TikTok one day, saw I think it was your Gillette commercial,
Mm.
and I think you were like you had did some kind of cut up of where it was like I went from pro basketball player or something, and then did the Gillette, and the Gillette commercial was super fire. And so then I went to your Instagram and just started going through, all your videos. I was like, oh, he got some skill, man. He got some skill. And then I
Thank
reached out, and I reached out because I played basketball as well, and so I was just thought we could connect on that level. And then I thought photography and videography is really cool. So it was interesting. I liked your work. So thank you for responding.
thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it, man.
No worries, man. So tell me a little bit about yourself. First of all, for the audience, how tall are you?
6'7".
6'7". Okay, nice, nice, nice. That's cool. All right. Tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I'm from New York, born and raised. Went to college down in North Carolina and went to Salem State, and from there, after there, did my 4 years and ended up going out to the draft and get drafted. Worked out for like three NBA teams, got cut, and went overseas. Played in about over the course of 10 years, 12 different countries, and then I got hurt, blew out my knee, and it was all over. So it was time to figure out what's next in life, and I started out taking photos for my wife. Wasn't good at it at first, but got pretty good at it after a little bit of time and studying and a lot of trial and error. And then got to the point where brands were hitting me up to start shooting product photography for them. And from there, eventually it got to the point where they started asking me to do behind the scene videos, and that's when I got to see like um, what a full commercial set looked like. And it reminded me of basketball. It was a huge team atmosphere, and I wanted to be a part of that world. So I started PAing and networking, work with people. And while I was PAing, I was also shooting my own work, and I just worked my way up to the point where I got the opportunity to DP a commercial. And I mean, a lot of luck and opportunity fell in the right place at the right time. And that commercial ended up being a national TV spot. So from there, I was able to leverage more connections, as in sending it out to people, getting meetings, building relationships with people to get more opportunities. And then meanwhile, I was just studying and learning as much as I can. I was taking the same lessons I learned from ball, same discipline I have with ball, and transferring over into the film industry. So I've been a director of photography now for about 2.5 years, almost three, and I've shot a lot of national TV commercials. I've shot award-winning documentaries, and last summer I shot my first TV show. So it's been going pretty well.
Is that TV show out yet?
It comes out next month in July.
Okay, and obviously you probably can't say it yet, right?
I can tell you what it is. I just
Oh,
can't. I can't show nothing about it yet.
no, no, obviously, yeah. What's the TV show?
It's called A Dessert. It's like a sketch comedy show, kind of similar to Key and Peele.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. Can you release where's it coming out on?
It's coming out on Crave. So Crave is like Canada's Hulu.
Okay, okay. Do you do a lot of Canadian work out there?
Yeah, so my wife's Canadian, so when I met her, I kind of moved out here, but I always go back and forth between here and the States. So I do a lot of work in the States now as well.
What so do you live in Montreal or
I have a home in Canada in Toronto,
uh-huh.
and then I have my spot in New York.
Okay. Where in New York are you from?
Partly Queens, partly Hempstead, Long Island. It was like half and half growing up.
Okay. Nice, nice. My dad is from New York, so I got a lot of family out there. But they're
Uh,
like all over the boroughs. But each one pretty much got hard to stay down in one, but I guess. Yeah, that's cool, man. So all right, let's start from the beginning a little bit. Um high school. How was high school for you? Were you like basketball was everything to you, or were you doing other things, trying to explore the music world? Talk about it.
nah, it was just basketball was everything. Basketball kept me out of trouble, kept me off the streets, kept me from gangs and drugs and everything like that. Between that and my family pushing me forward in it, and making sure I stayed out of trouble. I just gave my all to basketball. I saw that as my way out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
When did you get your height?
Um I got it from ninth grade going to 10th.
Oh, yep, yep.
Yeah, I had to grow some.
Usually, yeah, usually it's like ninth to 10th, or a lot is like 10th to 11th, where you just like, what the
Mhm.
hell? Like, yeah, that's cool, man. Okay. Were you like um one of your top players in your I guess region is what they would say?
Yeah, so I was a top 40 in New York that year. I was just outside of the top 100 in the country.
Okay.
I was probably like in like the 150 realm or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, he did the ABC camps and all the All-Star games and
Yeah, that's what's
all the
up.
awards. It was on TV for it and things of that. So I had a bunch of colleges around the country writing me, looking for me, coming to see me, coming to talk to me. I just didn't know. Me and my pops didn't know how that worked.
Yeah.
So we lost out on some opportunities that we should have could have took advantage of. But lessons learned from that because when my sister ended up going through the process, it was a lot smoother. We knew what was going on. We knew how to handle it. We knew what to look out for. What
Let's talk about it. Talk about a couple things that you might have, wish you would have knew at that time. Because it
um
it is a tricky, it's a lot of politicking, which I didn't know either when I was going through the process, and I wish
yeah.
I would have knew that, right? So go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, so a lot of politics. So pretty much every school, every coach has their big board of players, and they're
Yep.
trying to fill up the gaps to help build a team from players that either transferred out or players that graduated out, things like that. So I was a shooting guard slash small forward, so I was on the big board for some schools, but I wasn't the only one. So like big schools like that was after me, like Michigan or South Carolina University, like there'll be I was probably like their second, third option on their board. They have their All Americans as
Hmm.
their first option that they're going for.
Yep.
So I didn't know I could actually talk back to them. It was just
Hmm.
them sending me letters and me just accepting the letters. And
Yeah.
I just figured like one day the letter of um, commitment would come through. But like they would look at me because they'll see other schools vying for me. So they were like, because I was responding back, they thought I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
They went with the other person underneath me or beside me, whoever else was on their board, right? So things like that would happen. And we learned the rules and regulations because like nobody was able to help guide us through that. That there's a period where you could talk to coaches and where coaches could talk to you. So the
Hmm.
times they came and talked to me, they was like, "Oh, we're interested. We'd love to have you for a visit." Things like that. So, but my high school coach, because we was having an undefeated season my senior year, he wouldn't allow us to visit schools during the season. So by the time we made it all the way to the state championship federations and we lost, but by the time that was ended, there was a very small window for me to visit schools. So
Yeah.
most of the schools use you get a certain amount of visitation stuff. They use theirs already. So the schools I was able to visit, it was a smaller pool, and that's what I chose to go to school from the ones I was able to visit. So it's like lessons learned like that. That knowing the rules and regulations. When my sister's time came, we knew when you could talk. When somebody wrote you up, no matter if there's a Division One, Division Two, Division Three, contact them back, let them know thank you for the letter that you're interested or not interested, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah. I I agree with that. That's like very like we don't learn how to communicate with them because we're just so excited to get that first letter in the mail. It's like, oh my God, like, and then you just collect them, right? It's like I got a letter from here, I got a letter from here, but you don't really learn how to communicate and kind of be get in that process of that recruiting because I mean you're still what like junior senior those are like the most busy times in your high school life. You're taking tests right left and right, you're trying to prepare what your next steps going to be, um and might be going through some family stuff. Like there's just a lot going on, right?
Mhm.
Turning 18 or yeah 17 18.
18, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. But that's yeah, I mean that's cool that you had that experience. You learned from it. It worked. It seems like it worked out for your sister. Your sister played ball somewhere?
Yeah, she ended up going to college. She just actually just graduated her 4 years, and,
Oh,
now
nice.
she's gonna go do her master's.
Where at?
She's actually going to my alma mater to do her master's, which is funny. Um,
Nice.
yeah.
And then where'd she play basketball in like her undergrad?
She ended up playing basketball at Livingstone College, which is, in one of the best D2 colleges conferences in the nation in the CIAA.
Okay, nice. What made you choose your school?
Um, when I visited, the guys that was showing me around were really cool. One, our school was like top our school was top 5 in the nation for nursing. So
Okay.
for every one guy, there was like 22 to 25 women. But I'm not gonna lie, like, that
Yeah.
didn't play a part in it.
That's
But
funny.
they were very good for basketball, and the coach, was like, yo, he would give me opportunity to start, like, my freshman year. He was like, "You have to fight for it, but,
Oh,
like, you will have the opportunity to compete for a starting position." Wouldn't be like, "Oh, we'll bring off the bench." And other schools are like, you know what I mean, you'll get the opportunity, but they had, like, some set people, and it was, like, fighting behind them, where it was like, you will get the real opportunity to start. So that was a big one for me. And then, he showed me the schedule next year, playing like Wake Forest and them on TV when Chris Paul was there. It's like national televised games to where it's like, all right, if we have good showings, scouts could see. Because my whole mentality was trying to make it to the league, right?
yeah.
There was like opportunities like that, and the AD saw potential in me as well. So he was like, you know what I mean? He'll try to help push my name as well. So it was like things like that that were propelling me to try to get to the next step. So,
Yeah.
you
That's
know.
what's up. That's what's up. I want to know about like that transition from college to trying out for NBA teams. So let's talk about that, like going undrafted, that process of all right, working out with the three teams, kind of obviously that's like the most anxiety you've probably ever had, right? Like going through that. So talk about it, man.
Um, I actually know I didn't have a lot of anxiety with ball. Like, there's some nervousness, but like I've been doing it for so long that it was just more
No,
so exciting.
I guess you're right. You're 100% right. The anxiety probably wouldn't come from like being on the court, like, oh, I'm gonna mess up. Like, I think we're over that at that stage in your life, but more of like the off court stuff. Was there anxiety in that?
Um, Actually, for me, like, no, I guess like so. I'll just go through what happened for
You
me.
good? You good?
It was you graduated and you're going for workouts and everything like that. I guess the harder thing for me was trying to find the right agent.
Mm,
Somebody who I wouldn't just be another name on the list for them. You know what I mean? Somebody that it's hard to find the right person that was like, yo, take these 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward and explain to you why. You know what I mean? For a clearer vision. A lot of people like that, you know what I mean? You're just a name on the list, a person they could throw to try to get some extra bread, stuff like that, right? So
yeah.
that was a difficulty for me of trying to get the right agent. But working out for the teams, it was they pick you apart. Like
Mm.
every little thing matters because like it's the same thing again, but on a higher level as in they're trying to fit you in a system. You know,
Like, do they pick you apart like mentally and physically? Or
physically, like, you know what I
okay.
mean? Like you could have a great jump shot, but it's like, yo, it's a half a second too slow.
Mm,
You know what I mean? You could have good footwork. Like for me, at that point in time, the NBA wasn't what it is now. So like I was considered a tweener. In my when they was scouting me, they was like, oh, you're not quick enough to play the two guard position, but you're not strong enough to play the
mhm.
small forward position. You can shoot the ball really well, but it's like a half second too slow for that corner shot to get off properly from that
Yeah.
7'2" big man that's going to jump out there.
Yeah.
So it was like little things like that they'll be picking apart, and I mean, they'll put you in situations during workouts to see how you respond. And for a player like me, I mean, they were like, I, I met some coaches that were just very honest with me. They was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be a journeyman if you make it to the league. Every year you'll be fighting to stay on the roster." It wasn't like you're gonna come in there and you're gonna be LeBron or somebody. Like
Yeah.
it's not in the cards for you. You don't have
Not in
that
the
level of
jeans. Yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
It's like you have, and there's a lot of players. That's the thing about it. People don't understand. There's a lot of players like me where it's like you're on the cusp of making the league, but it could be right time, right situation, right moment that gets you in, or not, right? And
Or coachability. I've seen a lot of players that had it but couldn't be coachable.
yeah, that's a big one too. Like even for me, when the Spurs came and scouted me after one of my games, and the scout was a friend of my college coach. And when they came in to scout me, I thought this was it. I thought this was like, all right. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna bring you to training camp, blah, blah, blah. If you don't have an agent, we could put you with this guy, whatever the case may be. And he just like tore me apart for like a good 10 minutes about like
Oh
he came to
man.
me at a game where I had like 35 points and he just didn't care about none of that.
Yeah.
He just had a list of things that I did wrong that
Yeah.
whole game. And being 21, young, still impatient, still arrogant, I didn't want to hear none of that.
Hmm.
So like even though he was giving me things to work on, to try to like get better at these in the next couple of years, I might have a better opportunity in making the league. It went in one ear and out the other because I was just young and impatient and stupid at that point in my life where I was like,
Yeah.
can you tell me? I just dropped 35 on our rival team. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I didn't want to really hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
So I could look at moments of those top times in my life as a mistake. Even going back to high school where I started getting a lot of recognition around New York and around the country. One of my mentors came to me and told me he found a trainer that I should start going to take me to the next level. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I used to pay like crackheads to rebound for me at the park, or when my friends were available to come rebound for me. I had my own situation going. I was doing well, so I didn't see no reason to shake it up. And the trainer is one of the best trainers in the world, named Jerry Powell out of New York. In my class, people around my way are going with like Senora Games, AJ Price, Danny Green. You know what I mean? They all made it to the league. I used to play against them on AAU, go at them, go at
Yeah.
stuff like that. They all went to the league, and they were training with him in high school. And I wasn't. I didn't start training with him until college, after my first year of college, right?
Hmm.
So it's like that Kobe effect, whereas I mean, the earlier you put in the work, the building blocks get built. So like even when a
Yeah.
person starts a couple of years later, it's a lot harder for them to catch up because
For sure.
you've been doing it longer, right? So it's like little things like that. What I mean? When somebody is going out their way, I learned that when somebody's going out their way to give you advice, you should really soak it in and listen to it. Now, you don't always have to follow every little piece of advice they give you, but actually listen to it and see if it's something that you could use. And when I was young like that, it's like people would go out their way that were trying to help me give me advice, and I wouldn't listen to it because like
Just
things
young.
were going well for me the way I wanted. I would only listen to it if things were going bad,
Yeah.
where
That's smart. Yeah. Yeah.
things could go good for you. Somebody give you advice and it could get you to go even better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because advice is based on experience and you
Mhm.
haven't had that experience yet. So you're probably just like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't apply to me. Well, yeah, not yet. They're trying to give you advice so that you can avoid that. Right.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, God, being young and dumb is just so young and
It's
hard.
crazy because I see young kids that are like further along in life, and it's because they had family or some close family, friends of family that were able to guide them.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why you'll see some of these young 20 something year olds with their own businesses and they're making money and stuff like that because like either their parents set them up better,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Or like my parents didn't know nothing about investing,
Hmm.
any of that stuff. I mean, it was like, yo, my mom didn't get to go to college. She was like, yo, you got to go get a degree. Like, I understand your dreams MBA, but yo, if
You
you
got to
get a
get that.
degree for me type stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
gonna help you protect you in life.
Yeah.
Where, you know what I mean? I know people that was like, yo, when they came out the womb, they had like stocks and bonds already set up from by the time they were
Yeah.
my age, they had six figures in the account because they was set their family set them up a certain way. So when people are going to go out their way to give you advice, especially if they're people that you respect and trust, you should really try to take it in and see where they're coming from. Like you say, it might not affect you right now, but it might be building blocks for you down the road.
Yeah. Stepping stones, step for sure, for sure. How was your relationship with your parents, both parents, kind of all throughout high school and college? Were you guys super close?
Yeah, my family is a very kind of tight knit family and stuff like that. I mean, as a kid, you're a teenager, you're a kid, so you're rebellious and stuff like that. I mean, the love was always still there, but I mean, you think you're grown, you think you know it all,
Yeah,
type
yeah,
thing. And then
yeah.
as an adult now, I respect my parents
Way
even more
more.
so than I did when I was little
Yeah.
because I see the sacrifices they made to give me opportunities that I had in life, things that I was young, I was taking for granted because it was like, oh, it's supposed to be like this, right? Or
Hmm.
I mean, it's like that, and you get older and you can see like parents that failed their kids and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna say my parents were perfect, but like they tried to give me my siblings the best that they could from
Yeah.
what they know and what they had, right? And even when ball got hard and when I was overseas and or when I switched agents and I was thinking about quitting because things were going a little rocky, my father gave me one of the best I guess pep talks that you can give your kid where it was like he worked for the MTA um, for his career, and he was in charge of like bus safety in New York, and he used to wake up every morning like 4:35 a.m. to get to work. So when I was going to quit, he sat with me and he was like, "You think I get up at 5 a.m. every morning to go to work because I enjoy it?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. You've been doing this job forever. I assume like you had to like it in some shape, form, or fashion, or you did something else." He was like, "Nah." He's like, "I do that because it puts a roof over your head and money in our pockets, and it gives y'all an opportunity to go live your dreams." He's like, "So I want you to push for your dream until you can't no more." He's like, "That's what gives me the energy to get up every morning at 5 a.m. because I'm seeing you go for your dream." You know what I mean? So it resonated with me of how much my parents were like sacrificing and doing for me to just try to have opportunity to live my dream, right? So being older now, I have such a high respect for them being an adult, and you as an adult, you start learning and going through things and understanding that your parents are just regular human beings too.
Yeah. I think there was like a huge step in respect that I have for my mother when I had kids. It was like my first
Mhm,
kid. I was like, I got my wife is here to help me, but my mom and dad were split. So like it was just her. So I had a huge step in respect for like single mothers. I was like, oh my God, like how the hell y'all do this? We barely could do it with two people. Right. Then we had the second kid, and we're like, oh man, like I have tremendous respect for you and like everything you did to keep me and my brother together, right? And just like you talk about it, like surviving all the things that adults have to go through that you're kind of blind to as a child because you're worried about your little sixth grade crush or
mhm.
basketball. Like basketball is my life and my only kind of thing that kept me out of the streets, right? Kept me out of Oakland, Berkeley, like and so yeah, it's a huge respect that you get for parents when you get older and go through real life.
Yeah,
That's facts, man. What are your thoughts on the NBA now? Like, it's so different,
it
so
is. The
different.
game, it feels like if I was born a generation later,
Yeah,
I'd definitely be in it.
yeah.
It got to a point where it's like, oh, you can specialize in a certain thing, right? And but I just excited. I still love watching it every day. I'm enjoying the playoffs right now. So unexpected is going to be a new champion this year, so that should be fun.
Oh, you think
But
a new champion? I see you. I see.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a LeBron fan. Like I'm older, so like I played against LeBron in AAU, I mean I went from thinking he was all hype to when I played against him was like, oh, this guy's a real fucking deal. Excuse
So did you
me.
have to guard him at some point?
No, I didn't. I mean, I got him for a couple possessions, but
Yeah,
like
but not like.
I wasn't the main defender on him.
Uh huh.
But like it was like a man playing among
Hmm.
boys.
Yeah.
You just saw it like, okay, this guy's. there's no way he doesn't make the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, you know, what I mean, even though he's like a year older than me, but you just knew.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Okay, so all right, well, like I'm not gonna lie. I kind of get frustrated at the NBA sometimes, like more than I, used to. Like now I feel like it's just all I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but these all-star games suck nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
that part does suck about the NBA compared to when we probably was growing up. Like, you know, what I mean, they just actually
AI,
compete.
like yeah,
Yeah,
different jerseys, like
yeah.
it's just it's so TikTok, right? These days. And I felt like the NBA is starting to even do that as well. Um, but let's say who's your kind of favorite player of all time?
Of all time,
Yeah.
Grant Hill. Um,
Whoa, I was not expecting that. Why Grant Hill?
Grant Hill was the hybrid. You know, what I mean, he was the shooting guard, small forward that can do it all, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't shoot
Yeah.
like how jump
It's
shots so
true.
prominent then, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was like when LeBron, I mean, not LeBron, when Jordan was leaving, he was considered like one of the people who were vying to be like the best in the league. And like, yeah, I was a fan of his game, and I watched him in college. And I watched him in the pros, and he was killing. And I wish he never got hurt. I mean, that deteriorated his career. But even off the serious ankle injury that he had, he still willed his way to play. I think another like 7 years,
Hmm.
8 years, right? But yeah, I really liked his game, his vision. He was I guess one of the building blocks for LeBron. Like if you can see, like, oh, this is the mold, and then like years later,
And
LeBron came. Like, okay, I can see where this came from.
it's like if Grant Hill had good genes, like just superpower monster jam genes,
Yeah,
that's LeBron.
yeah, right. So you know what I mean, because he was what 6'8", could dribble, get by. He was quick,
Yeah, yeah.
right off the bounce. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a Steph Curry type shooter, but he could still like hit the jump shot. Like he'll defend on top. Like, he play both sides of the court, be physical with you. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed his game. In the newer age of things, I am a LeBron fan. But you know, I mean, there's a bunch of other players that I enjoy watching now. I honestly, man, I just enjoy watching the game.
Yeah.
Um, I think, like what you were saying, I think there are parts of the game that can be better, but then the other part of it is like that the athleticism of some of these players now is like through the roof.
It's
Things that
like,
we never
how do you
see.
have this 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid that is literally like I don't even like a superhuman. They're like super.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they need more vets in the locker room though,
I agree.
just to help
Mentally.
teach these kids to be more professional, what it's like to be professional. And I think a lot of them are, you know, because the ones that have vets in the locker room, like the Miamis and the Spurs, you know, you don't really hear their players going crazy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But the younger teams that don't really have vets in the locker room, that's where you hear about things going awry off the court.
Yeah, a lot. D- two times in 1 month specifically. So,
Yeah.
um,
Like, when I was playing overseas, you know what I mean, there was always a vet on my team, whether they were another American or they were from another country that were like in my first like 2, 3 years, took me under the wing, like, "Yo, this is like being a pro." And then when I got into my later years, I was doing it for younger players, like, "Yo, this is when you have your fun. This is when we work."
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Let's talk about overseas quickly before we move into kind of the photography and videography stuff. Overseas. So you didn't get picked by one of the three. Can you name the three teams that you tried out for?
Spurs, the Charlotte Bobcats, and they were the New Jersey Knicks back then. They weren't
I
Brooklyn
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, I got you. With that was like what 2010, 2009.
When I was working with teams, this
Yeah,
was 2008, 9.
8, 9. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, Charlotte Bobcats. Did MJ buy it back then, or was that too? Did he buy it after? When did MJ?
I don't know.
I think it was like after. I think it was like 11. But okay. So you tried out for those teams. What kind of made you decide to go overseas? Because you know, you hear different stories. You're far from family. Like, so what made you be like, I'm going overseas? This is the best option for me? Did you still have that? I'm gonna go overseas, play for maybe 1 to 2 years, get picked up by a G League, and then go play on an NBA team.
Um, So yeah, so initially it was like, all right, I'm gonna go overseas for a couple of years, and I'm gonna try to come back and see if I get on the summer league team, something like that, right? But in high school, I got picked up to be on and playing a Nike tournament over in Switzerland. So
Oh.
we got to see the Tour de France, like when Armstrong won the first one,
Hmm.
his first one, excuse me. And that was my first time, of course, out the country. I was like 16 years old, and that was like amazing. Like we practiced in France and we played the tournament in Switzerland.
That's
So I think it was
crazy.
like 2 weeks or something like that. So it was like that opened my eyes to the world and was like, yo, I could live out here. Like, you know what I mean? I knew nothing about Switzerland and France besides what you read in books or, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, I could live out here. I could do this. So when when the NBA fell through, you know, I mean, the agent I was with was like, yo, my first workout he got me into was like, yo, there's a private workout. There's team from Japan coming in town. They're only bringing in like 25, 30 people. I could get you on the list. So from that, it was a private work. It was like 30 people. They was selecting only two. Yeah, it was two that was selected. So my first job was out in Japan. I got selected from that combine, and it was amazing. I played for Toyota. I learned so much. I lived in Japan for like eight months.
That's crazy.
Won a championship. Like it was amazing. And it was like I was popular in my school because I was like the face of my team my last 2 years of college. So like I was on billboards and
Yeah, yeah.
plus my jersey. People wear my jersey around campus, but like when
It's
you
different
when
there.
you're playing pro, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You're walking some spots and people will just come flooding around you and
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
speak the language and it's just like
Yeah.
autograph and photo, and
Yeah.
it was just a different type of lifestyle, and then I had to get comfortable with, like, not going out all the time, staying in because like, in certain areas, people would know who I am, and it's like, I didn't want that attention at that point, and then you go through the whole it's exciting at first, and you're trying to learn, and you have your little dictionary because 'cause you're trying to learn
Yeah.
the language and then the religion and the cultures, you don't disrespect nobody, you, like, after practices, you'll hang with the younger players who, like, they'll practice their English with you, you'll practice your Japanese with them,
Yeah, yeah.
and then, it hits a point when you get homesick. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For me, it was like around Christmas. I was always home for Christmas.
Mhm.
And that was my first Christmas away from my mom, my pops, and my siblings. And you get homesick and you know what I mean? So it's like you're trying to talk to people like, yo, you want me to fly you out? You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out here, stuff like that. But it's on the other side of the world. Not you know what I mean, where I'm from, not everybody has
Can afford
passports,
it.
flies like that. Like I was gonna put up the bread for the ticket to fly you out, but like can't fly out if you ain't got no passport or, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
you can't even get on a plane or something, so,
How's the pay there? And what was your best paying city or country?
pay was really good, bonuses really good out there. The
What
best
what's the bonus on like winning a championship or something?
nice 5 figures.
And was it like, all right, if you make it to playoffs, you get a bonus, and then you win the championship, you get a bonus again? Those are
Depends
the
what's in overseas, depends what's in your contract, what your agent negotiated and stuff like that. So, you
mm,
know what I mean? I've known players throughout my career that, like, had some amazing negotiations. Like, I know one player was playing in China, and he got, like, a percentage of all the alcohol they'll sell at home games.
get the fuck
Yeah,
wait,
I don't know how they
how?
stayed there, but, like,
Yeah.
that was amazing. You know what I mean? But I learned things like I had
Jesus.
what you consider, I guess, my first year of the basic contract with my teammate. You know what I mean? He was getting bonuses for double doubles and stuff like that. Like yeah, it's what you negotiate. So I talked to players, and then it's the thing is,
You learned.
you end up talking to other players from other teams. Like you'd be in another
Oh,
city,
yeah,
and after
yeah.
the game, because like you know what I mean, there's only one or two Americans per team.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though you're playing hard against each other and talking shit each other on the court after the game, like, yo, son, we in the city for another night. Where's it at tonight?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, you'll link up. So like I was linking up with like, you know, I mean, Charles O'Bannon and them like that, you know, guys that were vets and they were like teaching me stuff. He's like, yo, come here, young fella, I'm gonna teach you about this. And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So this is what you can get in your contract. This is what you can do right here, blah, 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 blah. You can fight for these type of bonuses. You know what I mean? I met players that were like just they knew they were in the right conversations with the right people and knew how to get certain things, right? So I took that underneath my wing to learn certain tricks of the trade like that. But probably the most I got paid was like in Saudi. So you just had a bunch of money and they'll just throw it at you.
Yeah, I heard. This might have been a rumor, but I heard like, and I don't know if it was for basketball. I think it was for something else. Like if you play in Russia, they just pay you in cash.
Um,
They just like leave something at your locker.
it depends on the team. Like,
Yeah.
I played for a team in DR, and the owner of the team was this like big drug dealer out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what. Yeah,
So
I figure.
everything was in cash.
Yeah,
Everything was
yeah.
in cash. There was a lot of cash around, but they had like security guards with us all the time. But then it was like when he wanted us to like come out and party with him, we had no say so. Like we had no say so. Like our security guards, our drivers would just take us. And even if
You
we was
just
like, yo,
had
we
to
don't want
go.
to go, they'll just show us the tool and be like, boss said you gotta go. And I'm like, all right.
Okay. So like, how is that time in your life, and how old were you? Like, what? There's got to be a lot going on in your head. Like, do I want to do this here?
Um
How do you get out? Because you're negotiating contracts with a drug dealer, and they're the best negotiators in the world.
well, but once I'm out there, the contract's been signed and negotiated. You know what I mean? It's a done deal. And like the guy was like nice to us. It was just that like when like we was in the semifinals and we
So
lost.
was Pablo Escobar. He was nice to his people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you know what I mean? Like he was it was like a toy to him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like this is my
Yeah,
bread and butter. This
yeah,
team is
yeah.
my bread and butter. This is like,
It
oh
was a
yo,
toy.
you know what I mean? You know,
It was
some
a
people are like,
project. You guys were a
some people are like, I
project.
need wins. He's like, oh, well, you
Yeah.
know, I got this team. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't
That's
sweating it like that. It's just that like when he told the security guards or the drivers like, yo, bring him to the club, but you had to go to the club.
yeah. I
It
ain't gonna
wasn't
lie.
like
He
an
probably
every
brought
night
the
thing.
yeah, yeah. He probably brought the best women to the clubs. I
It was it was interesting,
it
man.
was interesting.
That time out there was interesting. Like that was like not one of the best experiences I had over in ball ever, but like there was fun parts about it, but then there was the scary parts about it. Like we lost in the semifinals, lost game 5, and the coach made an error. He sat both the imports down in a pivotal part of the fourth quarter. And you kind of never do that. You always keep one on the court. And out there, they at that point in time, they didn't sell alcohol like in cups. They'll have like the little glass mini bottles.
Uh-huh.
And fans started, you know, when we lost, the fans started throwing at them. They were trying to attack the coach. Like they weren't mad at us, like you know what I mean, but they were
Yeah,
mad at the
you have
coach
no
because they
say.
killed that man. So they had to like get like police and military guard to escort him home, and yeah, it was
Is
crazy. Like I thought that guy was gonna die.
I was gonna say is he well that was years ago, but hopefully he did not die after
No, no, he didn't.
that.
He didn't. It was like after that day, it calmed down, and it was just like, no, they're drunk and riled up in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After they sober up the next day or later on that, you know what I mean, that evening or whatever, it was fine. But
They want to see Americans play. Like they want them on the court, the two.
yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
they're usually in not all the time, but most of the time, your imports are your best players.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Not all the time.
Most athletic for sure.
Yeah,
Like they might not be the best shooter, but they the most athletic out there for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I could only imagine being overseas. How long were you overseas? How many years?
10.
Yeah, that's and you said 12 countries.
Yeah, 12 different countries.
You,
About
you
like
remember?
11, 12 different countries. See if I can name them all. I'm probably not
Yeah,
gonna name them all, but it was like China, Japan, so hold on. China, Japan, DR, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Colombia, Brazil, Ecuador, Canada, um, what was it? Uruguay. I feel like I'm missing somewhere.
my God, you went to like all the best places. That's sick.
I did Germany, but then I got sick, so they cut me.
Mm. Did you try for France and stuff? Because that's like where the real like good. Because I know they got levels, right?
Yeah. So oh Argentina too.
Oh,
Uh
that's a really good one. Argentina.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Argentina is probably the best league, like
Hmm.
competition wise, I played in. Um, at that point in time, they were that league was ranked, I want to say top 5 in the world
Yeah.
because this is like after they came off of when they beat the U.S. in and
Oh,
for the gold
oh wait,
in the
yeah,
world. But yeah, that was a dope league too. Most of my time was in South America and Asia because I started out in Asia, and Europe has this weird thing about them was like if you didn't play and build yourself in Europe, or you don't come with like NBA pedigree, once you like start in Asia or South America and then try to jump into Europe, they
yeah.
try to start you lower on a pay cut. And once I got to making a certain amount of money, I wasn't going to take a
Mhm.
drastic cut.
Yeah, you like, Imma just stay in the Asian
Yeah,
countries.
I might
There
as
it
well just stay over
is.
here, 'cause at that point in time, it wasn't about making the league anymore, it was about playing good competitions and making as much money as I can before my body started giving out on
Yeah, I
me.
was just about to say before your body say, you done, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's dope, man. Well, I kind of want to transition into like the videography and photography stuff. So but before we do, I like to do a quick segment called the Hella Misguided segment, where I ask the same question to each business owner and entrepreneur that comes up here. That question is, if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would a summary of that letter be?
Oh, um, well, alright, to my 18-year-old self.
Dunk on LeBron. No, I'm just playing.
Um, okay. 1, be a little more patient with yourself.
Mm.
Um, document your life and your experience more. Take photos with your loved ones more. And, I mean, at the 18 years old, I really wanted to make the NBA, and I know what made me miss making NBA. I would give myself those critiques, and I would have probably made it then. But outside of that, it would really just be like take take more photos and videos with your loved ones more, because you don't know when is it the last time you'll ever see them, right? So
Were
I,
you like an introvert or extrovert?
I'm an extrovert,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
like I lost my big bro um, too young,
Hmm.
and not enough time was spent. Like we
So,
spent, we were damn near inseparable. But once I started growing and ball, I started traveling a lot and being gone a lot, and he was a big reason why I was able to make it out. And it's just like him being gone is like you think you have your life with somebody and you
yeah.
don't. So it's
Yeah.
like I wish we had more pictures. I wish we had more memories type situation. So
To the streets.
you would think, right?
Yeah.
That would have made more sense, but it was asthma that got
Whoa.
him, and the cops really just didn't help. They just saw a black man passed out in the street, and it was like he has to be on drugs, and his girl was telling him that he had an asthma attack, and it was like didn't really help. So he pretty much kind of died right there. But you know what I mean?
That's
So
like, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, man.
it's alright. I appreciate it. But yeah, we spend more time with my loved ones, you know what I mean? Because when they're gone. And just be a little bit more patient with yourself. You know, at 18, I was quick to mouth off, shorter with my temper,
Yeah, yeah.
a lot more. I mean, I'm older now, so I'm a lot more patient, a lot more relaxed. It takes a lot to get underneath my skin, right? So just be more
Did you have
patient.
a temper as a player?
I not a temper, but I used to talk a lot of trash, and that's fine.
You're in New York. That's New
Yeah,
York, though.
yeah, exactly.
I hated playing in New York because they would just get under your skin. They'd be the worst players, but quick as hell,
And just
and,
talking.
and just talk. I'd be
Yeah.
like, but you quick though. You got great defense. But they hack you like 75% of the time. I'm like, God
Yeah,
damn.
your point game, and you know what I
Yeah,
mean. You might
yeah,
shoot a jump shot because you're going to the basket. It's gonna be fouls.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that's great advice. I think patience is key. I still don't have that. I'm still working on it. I think when you start to have kids, it helps you. Like it's definitely helped me the last couple years. But like when I want something, I want it now. And I felt like that as a kid too. It was just like and then as a kid, I'd say for myself, I was stubborn, but like I'm 5'9" now. So imagine me in high school. My like prime height in high school was 5'7", 5'8", right?
Mhm.
Like, why did I in my head think I was going to the NBA still? Like, I wish I would have focused on other stuff to put me in a better position instead of like I'm going to like to the NBA. I know I'm not getting drafted. I'm gonna go overseas and play and then get drafted. That step up ladder, right? But
Mhm.
I just like I should have knew and to like focus on other things and not necessarily put all my eggs in one basket at a time in that time in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
Sometimes you have to.
you could always, look at it like that, because same. I could look at it like that as well too. But like, I try not to focus. Money's very important. You could level up more, and it's not like money doesn't matter and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, you can't take it with you. And I've met some super rich people in the world in my travels, but like, some of them are so unhappy.
Mm,
And then I've met people that are like poor, but they have like health and family, and
yeah.
they're like happy, simple things in life, right? So like, you know what I mean? If it was a money standpoint, I told myself like, yo, man, instead of, that little money you got in your pocket, invest in Apple. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
huge. Invest in
Yeah.
Google. It's gonna be huge. Invest in
Yeah.
Netflix. It's gonna be huge. Stuff like that. But like, more so, it's like, I was I was so impatient with myself,
Yeah.
and I would be very hard on myself about certain things from being impatient. And I'm still like you now, where it's like, you want things to move at your speed now, but it's like, I have a formula around that. Like, I talk to my wife about it, and she gets the brunt of my worries and stuff like that, and then I'm able to word vomit it out, and it's over with. And it's like, all right,
Yeah, that's exactly how my wife is. She like definitely balances my chaos in my head because I be thinking about too many things. And like be like we were just on vacation for a week in Texas, and I was just like, you see like a new business idea, and I'm like, I want it, and I start calculating. She's like, all right, calm down, let's think. Like you know what I mean? Like I walk into like a hotel, I'm like, damn, how much do you think it would be to buy this? Like how much do you think they make per room? Like you know what I mean? Like just hella business chaotic stuff going on in my head, but no, that's facts. You need that balance. I agree, and you need to really focus on kind of things besides money. And my wife definitely reminds me that. How long you and your wife been together?
been together for 10 years, married for 5 now.
Where'd you guys meet?
When I
The
was
nurse.
playing.
She was one of the nurses, huh?
Nah, 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 nah.
That'd be crazy.
I did a year in Canada playing in the
Okay.
pro league out here, and I met her that year. And it was just the right time in my life. It was the same year that I lost my bro,
Mm,
and she helped me fight my depression and get back to being the person that I am now. So I always give grace to her for that. And just from that alone, I always knew she was gonna be somebody in my life. Just didn't know on what level it would be, whether it
mm,
was friendship or whatever the
yeah.
case may be. It just turns out to be much more than that. And she's a really cool person. She's like my best friend. So we just clicked. We met one night after a game, and we've been talking ever since.
Nice, nice. Met at what did I call it? Like clubs down there or bars, or is it like
Yeah,
a different? Yeah. Okay.
most
Okay.
clubs. Yeah,
It's okay. Yeah, I gotta get out there. I've never been. That's
just
cool.
coming to
That's cool.
summertime. Just coming to summertime.
I know. I know. Did you guys marry in Canada?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. America. We was going to do New York, but then we ended doing that with a probably led over like to a 200-person wedding, and it was like, I
All
just
your
couldn't.
family flew out to Canada though.
My most important
Most
part of
of
my
yeah.
family is, the ones that couldn't be there, situations happens in life, they couldn't, but they were there in spirit. They'll
That's what's up.
call me before, and stuff like that. But like, the people that I consider the inner part of my family and stuff like that, yeah, they were all there. They all came out.
That's what's up. We decided to because obviously I'm in California, especially I'm in the Bay Area too. So weddings out here is like 100K, right? So
Yeah,
we were like, that's not gonna happen for a one day, and we paying for people to eat. Like, come on. So we started looking at destination weddings, and we ended up doing Mexico in June, which was it was like beautiful. We did it right on the beach at this like all inclusive hotel, and it was like cheap as hell. It was like 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. Like it was amazing.
nice.
All inclusive for like 5 days. It's like because would you rather do like you get everything for 5 days or you get everything for one night and then that's it? You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
no, that's
um
I'm actually going to a destination wedding later on this year for a friend, and they're
where
doing the same thing as you was talking about
where at?
in Mexico.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope out there, man. I mean, it's like everybody like tequila, everybody like tacos, like you know what I mean? Like it's good. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right, I want to talk about kind of your let's talk since we talk about, your wife's Canadian. How is it you said you own the place that you're at now, or do you rent it? Do you guys own a home there?
We rent, so
You
that's
rent.
the Canada's a Toronto's a dope spot. It's like a suburb of New York. It's, a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer people,
Uh-huh.
but the housing market's horrible,
I
horrible.
heard, but how so? In what ways?
Your average two-bedroom house,
Uh-huh.
that probably in most places might cost you, I don't know, 300,000.
Okay.
Up here, it might be going for, like, 1.2 mil.
What? In what?
Yeah.
Why is it like so it's like worse than America then?
In the general sense of America, yes. Now, like, places like, what I mean, like, San Francisco is really expensive, New York's really expensive, certain parts of LA is really expensive, so but it competes with those
Mm.
on being super expensive.
You know why? Have you and your wife kind of talked about like why it's like that,
Um,
the economy?
so it's, they do, like, bidding wars out here, and then, what happened was a lot of, Chinese companies bought up a lot of property to the point where, like, the government signed a bill probably, like, a year ago where, like, no foreign, um, companies can buy a property for the next, like, 10 years or something like
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
because they were making it unaffordable for people that actually live in Canada, right? So, and then me and my wife don't know if we're actually gonna stay in Canada because my job right now, what I mean, I'm starting to get more work in LA and New York, and, I'm gonna eventually start doing, like, movies and everything like that, and, what I mean, it just might make more sense to move to LA or be back in New York.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I would like to just stay in Canada, and then just travel around and do that, but, like, we'll decide for our family what makes more sense.
Is rent expensive out there as well?
Is rent?
Yeah.
Just like any other major city.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's always that question of like renting versus owning and stuff.
Right now, I would say no matter I mean, unless you just have a shitload of money on you, I would say rent right now because, like, paying a mortgage of, like, 7, 9,000 a month, what I mean? Even if you can't afford it, it's like, you could
It's
pay
like, do you want to? Yeah. Like, come
pay
on.
you could pay 3 or 4 a month and
Yeah.
have all that excess money to invest,
Yeah. Yeah.
do other stuff, or take a trip with your family or, what I mean,
Yeah.
do other stuff with than being a house poor, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
100.
and then, like, you out here, you hear horror stories of people that finally got their house, and then, like, the interest rates and everything went up, so they might have been paying when they first got in, let's say they was paying for a month, and you between your jobs and you do your, finances for that, and then the rates went up, and now they have to pay 6,000 a month, and they
Hmm.
can't afford that, so they have their dream home for 2, 3 years, now they have to sell it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you hear about people losing their homes because of the economy right now, and that's it's sad and scary at the same time, right? So I
Yeah.
say right now, at least for these next year or two, my advice would be to rent.
Yeah. I
Unless you
got
can
you.
buy outright, then you ain't gotta worry.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. What, I want to talk. Oh, wow. There was a really good, oh, okay. So, like, one of the huge mistakes I made transitioning after college into like the real world, right? Basketball's done. Um, you get a good job because you got your degree, you start making a lot of money, and then you start tricking it off, right? You start
Mhm.
messing it off. I want to know how that transition was for you, from I'm just gonna go ahead and assume, college is hard for everyone. Broke college student to now
Mhm.
you're overseas with a big contract. You got fans screaming your name. You're going out pretty often, I'm assuming. How does that transition for you money wise, financially?
Oh, man. Like most young kids that were broke, all of a sudden you get a bunch of money,
Yeah.
you don't understand it, so you're
Uh-huh.
just spending it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say for me, it led to some very memorable nights, but like, it wasn't the wisest. And then, like, what I mean, people know you got money. So it's like
You're a target.
everybody, yeah, everybody has a business venture. Everybody, can you help me out with this? Well, I'm late on my bills, or I got this girl pregnant and I'm trying to get an abortion. We can't afford it, and what I mean, my car broke down. So I was just lending out money to people that I thought were friends, and they weren't, or what I mean. Yeah, it's just a lot of people trying to take advantage of you.
How
And
long did it take for you to kind of learn that?
so with lending out money to people and
No,
stuff
just
like
in
that.
general, just the money decisions. Like, how long do you think it took for you to be like, all right, instead of me lending it to people, let me go invest in Apple. Let me go do
Oh,
something smarter.
so honestly, man, investing stuff like that didn't come till way later in life. Now, lending money out to people, I learned that after my first year or two
Mm.
of playing pro. Like, all right, this is not going to work out like that. But then it was like, all right, I'll spend my money on me and just go do stuff. I'm gonna go have fun, and then I'll always kept a certain amount to the side for my family
Yeah.
to help them out if they're ever in need. Because no matter what, like I said, my parents sacrificed a lot for me, so you deserve it. If you need
Yeah.
it, it's there for you. Um, but other than that, it was like, all right, YOLO, I'm going out and have fun. I was just, and then like you're young and you're getting these big checks. So in your off season, you have like what 2-3 months, and you just
Yeah.
like living 2-3 months, a whole year in those 2-3 months almost. And so, but, what I mean, you're working out, you're training every day, 2-3 times a day, and then you're young, so you have the energy to go out at night,
Yeah.
have fun. And you're buying the bar, and you're just renting
Yeah.
cars and going to Vegas and Miami and just having fun, right? So, but like investment stuff like that didn't really happen until um I met my wife, because she started making me understand that, like, when we was growing up, me and my bro was like, yo, the goal was to try to make it to 25,
Hmm.
make it to 25, survive to 25, right? And once I hit 25, I was like, oh, I won in life.
Yeah.
Bro, I made it to the age I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to. I mean, my family's at the point right now taken care of. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And, everything else is house money.
Yeah. House buddy.
So I met my wife, and she started making me think like, yo, you got to start thinking like you're going to be here till you're 60, 80. You know what I mean? Like, think you're going to be living on this earth for a while. And she opened my mind to that, to the point where it was like, all right, let me start reeling in of going out all the time. Then on top of that, like once I met her, I wasn't partying as much anymore. I
Yeah.
wasn't out trying to meet girls and do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we can have a quiet night at home, and I could save thousands and thousands of dollars. You know what I mean?
Thousands.
I'm not trying to like do bottle wars or some dumb stuff
Yeah.
like that. I recommend for any young person with money, do not get into bottle wars. It's one of the dumbest things ever. It's a scam.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's just a waste of money. But yes, I started like investing with her. I met her father, who invests in property and real estate and things like that.
In Canada?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah,
Okay.
he has an amazing story, man. He's an immigrant from Vietnam.
Hmm.
He came over here and helped bring his 12 siblings over and his mother over, put himself through school out here. Like the whole works, like an amazing story.
Yeah.
So like just talking to him, and like my whole idea was like learning how he invests. I was like, yo, can we just give you a bunch of bread and you invest it for us? And he was like, no. Okay. He was
Yeah.
like, no, you need to learn for yourself.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
wow. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
like that.
He was like, but he gave me the encouragement, like, yeah, you could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Read this book. Look at this auto. You could do it. And then now our conversation is like, y'all, I've been looking at this investment, blah, blah, blah. And then that's how we conversate now, right?
What was the book he gave you, if you remember?
Um, the first one was like, told me about what Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep. Okay. I figured. I thought so.
And then other things was just like articles about like Black Rock and
Okay.
things like that, like movements that make people, like big investment groups, that when they make moves, the economy is going to change.
Yeah.
Things like that. So and then he's an engineer, so like he's
He's smart.
tapped into, yeah, yeah. So he's tapped into like what I mean, he does work for like Chrysler and stuff. So he's tapped into that market. So he knows about like the
Development.
batteries and stuff
Hmm.
like that, with the electric cars are coming in and where they're developing in those cities at and things like that sort, right? So it's just stuff to think about. It's not like, yo, you should do this, you do this. We just have regular conversations, like how we were just talking about ball, how we felt
Mhm.
about the All Star game. It's just conversations, and it's like he'll drop little gems here and there, and I'll just pick it up and
Have
just
you
go.
invested yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Where into real estate or
No, more so stocks and stuff right now. I want to get into real estate, but it won't be in Canada, because there's
yeah.
places in the states right now that are much cheaper
Mhm.
to invest in. So I'm looking at areas like that. You know what I mean?
Where have you been looking? Curious.
Ohio, Michigan, um, more rural parts of Texas, stuff like that. Because the one thing they can't make more of in this
Is
world
land.
is land. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
can't. You know what I mean? Once that dirt's bought up.
They'll find out a way. It'll start being like what silicone, plastic extensions.
Extension over water or something
Yeah.
like that, but, like, until that time comes, you know what I mean? So it's just like it's like little things like that that we're, um, starting to look into. Um, just have to find out the way that I wanna do it. Do I wanna, run it myself or hire a company to run it and things like that sort, right? So, looking into that as we speak, honestly, but no major moves have been made yet. But, like, now that I'm in film and stuff like that, I run into people that do all types of work. And you it's amazing what people own or what people are doing or how people make their money. You know what I mean? Because
It's crazy. There's so many things out there. It's like so many ways to make money. It's unbelievable, especially today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's wild. So I find myself in some of these rooms with some people, like, and now it's just like asking the right questions and how we can help each other and things to that point, right? So yeah, it's cool. It's funny because you look at yourself, like when I was in ball, I was so one dimensional, and
Mhm.
now I think so much more as a business owner, and you know what I mean, and about how to grow a legacy.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. Well, we got a few minutes left, but I want to kind of dive into your how'd you get into videography and doing commercials and just being a director of all that?
My wife, honestly, so when I retired, like I blew out my knee and I couldn't walk. I had like I tore my ACL, MCL, PCL, all my
Oh
problems.
shit, you tore all of them.
Yeah, yeah, like it was done. Like I'm happy to be able to still be able
A
to like
dunk?
walk. It was done.
No, like how? From a
Oh,
dunk?
yeah, I went up for a dunk and, I got undercut, flipped over, landed on my knee. It wasn't as bad yet, but the trainer and the team told me, it was fine, and they started giving me cortisone shots to keep me playing, and I played on it for, like, another 2 weeks,
So
and,
you didn't actually feel how bad it was.
no, it was just
Okay.
swelling, like, it hurt. So, from what the when I got back to a specialist doctor, it was like it was probably a meniscus tear at
Mhm.
first.
Mhm.
But because I kept playing on it and I couldn't feel the pain from the shots they were giving me, I ended up blowing it out. So, like, overseas, it gets really physical. So they'll hit you, they'll knee you and your shit. Like, you know what I mean? So even when you wear a brace or something out there, they just
They
like
see
I want
that.
to attack it.
Mhm.
Right. So yeah, I ended up tearing everything. And then I ended up being stuck in a machine. Like I had to lay down in this machine for like 12, 14 hours a day for like 3 to 4 months after the surgery to like try to get function back in my leg and so I just watched a bunch of Netflix. I was watching a bunch of YouTube. And my sister told me about Casey Neistat, so I started watching him. And my whole thing was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start vlogging my comeback recovery." So I actually did make a I don't know, say make a comeback, but I came back and played like a quarter of a year pro. I actually came back to the team in Canada and play, but I wasn't the same player anymore. And it was like, all right, I'm not gonna last. So I retired after that, and from there, I started taking photos of my wife because she was doing influencer work on the side, and, the brand started asking her, like, "Hey, who's shooting your content?" And,
Hmm.
my husband, so he started hiring me to do it, and, like, I wasn't good at first, but, like, my wife, we are, like,
She
best.
helped you. She like get this angle again.
Well, not even that, she just like, we're honest with each other, and that's one thing I
Mhm.
love about it. We could be just honest with each other, how we feel about anything, and she was like, "Yo, your photos suck." She's like, "Yo, you're freakishly tall. You can't shoot me from this height. You make me look small. Like you gotta get angles. Angles
Yeah.
and lighting is what it is." And she was like, "Yo, if you're gonna keep doing this, I can shoot these myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to get better." So I just started looking at YouTube tutorials. I would hit up local photographers, pick a picture off of their website, take them out to coffee or lunch, and ask them to break down how they got this to me and how they did what they did. And then like trial and error, I just got better at it. and I learned that I actually had an eye for it. And once the brand started hiring me to shoot for them, it was just like I have a gift of gab, so I was just like networking and talking with them, and
Yeah.
I'm not scared to ask for things or tell people what I want from them. So, I mean, closed mouth don't get fed, and some people reciprocate that. Some people it joke throws them off; they don't expect it, but like it is what it is.
Yeah, that was one of the best advice my coach, one of my AAU coaches gave me is closed mouth don't get fed, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's true. How can anybody know what you
What
want?
you want.
Don't
Yeah.
speak,
Yep.
right? So from there, once I got into shooting, I shot behind the scenes of a L'Oreal commercial. And that was my first time seeing a commercial set. Like I said before, it reminded me of ball. So once I got into that, I was like, how can I get in this world? And I mean, got right into the world of PAing, which is production assistants to get at the bottom of the totem pole, like first people in, last people out type situation. And
Yeah.
but the cool thing about PA and like your busiest parts of your day is the load in and load out. So like the rest of the day on set, you're
You're
doing
just chilling,
yeah,
looking.
you do little things here and
Hmm.
there when they need extra help, but like for the most part, you can see all the departments work.
Hmm.
And I mean, you start like most people, you start gravitating towards camera because most people only know about a director or a producer, but I didn't know what a DP was, a director of photography was, and then I met one, and he broke down what lighting was to me and how lighting could change the mood or everything. And he was on set on a GoDaddy commercial. He was actually shooting Muggsy Bogues in a GoDaddy commercial, and he changed the whole lighting setup to change the whole mood of the living room, and it was like magic. It was the closest thing that you get to magic in the real world to me. So I was like, man, I want to be a part of this. And then he let me start shadowing him on set
Mm.
for a couple of shoots, and I got to learn a lot. And I mean, same thing I did with photography was trial and error. I was shooting my own stuff until and putting my work out there, and I'll get the call sheet every day.
Yeah.
I'll be on set and I'll just save people's contacts. So when I had new work, I'll send it to them. Okay, my name's Darrell, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it just grew to I had the opportunity and I was ready in that moment for the opportunity and I rose to the occasion. And then once that first commercial went well, I just kept leveraging that for more and more and more.
That first commercial was that GoDaddy one that you're talking about?
No, that was I was a PA on that commercial. I'm talking the first commercial I shot as a
Oh,
DP was a OLG commercial, which in
okay.
Canada that's like their lottery system.
Okay.
So they partnered with the Raptors, and I didn't even know it was going to be a TV commercial. Me and my wife hadn't seen it on TV during the bubble year.
Oh shit.
We was just in our apartment, and you know what I mean. And it came on TV, and we both looked at each other. And it was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
And then I just instantly got on emails the next few days and started sending it out to people. Like, yeah, I shot this thing. I like the work that you do. I'd love to get a Zoom meeting with you and talk about how we could collaborate.
I like that. I like that right there. That hustle of like just instantly using your gift, right? Like in your ability to connect with people, to want to learn and educate yourself further, right? Instead of just being like, I also like, and I love YouTube University where you can just go and how to change the light on a setting, right? How to
Mhm.
film, right? But the fact that you actually did it like the old school way and reached out and did that human connection of let me buy you coffee, tell me everything you know, right? Like I like that. That's
Well,
hustle.
the biggest tool that you have that you could the biggest tool I say that anybody should work on, because no matter what lane you're in, if you know how to network,
Hmm.
if you're not scared to put yourself out there and network, you will
100%.
rise because you don't have to be the best.
No.
A lot of things is built off relationships, and as I get older, I'm learning that more and more and more and more. Because you ever been in a situation like, yo, how did that person get that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's because they knew the right person, they ran to this person, and they weren't scared to ask for it or tell somebody what they were looking for, and just be situations like that. So, like, I mean, yes, in this industry, you do have to have a level of talent, but like networking is what helped me grow so fast to be able to
Yeah.
use my talent, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
the same thing with like real estate, and as I'm learning too, is like the more properties you buy, it's like you I found out that like partnerships is super important and crucial and pivotal. Like if you've never invested in real estate, partner with someone who does, right? for
Mhm.
less equity, or if you don't have the money to add to the real estate deal, partner with someone who does, but maybe you have like the grind or the work ethic, or the, as people with money don't want to spend time analyzing a deal all day, or
Mhm.
right, talking with contractors all day, or setting up an Airbnb. Like that shit is hard. Like every time someone comes to me and wants like advice on Airbnb or something, I'm like, yo, this is not passive. Like this is like it's straight constant.
There's
It's,
there's
you
very
know what I mean?
few things out there that are passive income.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, I was like, if you want to be passive, you got to build some money and loan it out. That's passive. Okay.
Mhm.
Being the bank is passive. But yeah, no, you're 100% right as far as, kind of that like learning and networking process. Um, how much do you think it would cost how much did it cost you to kind of start this business? Like buying a camera, buying maybe lighting or stuff, or was it all given to you on set?
I don't own like, I mean, I own a camera, but not like the cameras I shoot with, 'cause I shoot with, like,
There
$100,000
you,
cameras.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, there's rental houses and stuff like that. So, like, pretty much when production brings me on, we negotiate my day rate or like that,
Okay.
what it's gonna cost for me to, how much it's gonna cost for them to pay for me to do the project, and then from there, it's like, alright, I talk with the director because pretty
Okay.
much what I'm doing is helping to bring the director's vision to life, right? So I talk to the director and we get a look for it that we're both going for this project. So then I'm in charge of choosing the camera, the lenses. I have to hire the crew, like my key grip, the gaffer, and they hire the people underneath them. So like depending on how many people we need for this shoot. So
You add that into your budget already, into that negotiated price?
no, so like for example, let's say a commercial like a Gillette commercial
Okay.
that I shot. They It goes like Gillette will hire an agency. They're like, "Oh, we
Mhm.
wanna come up with these new razors and stuff like that." The agency will create an initial storyline for it, like, oh, 2 guys square off, in a confrontation, one with a razor, one with a beard trimmer. Then the agency will approach production companies, and the production companies rep, um, directors. So we're like, listen, we want somebody that can shoot dramatic comedies. So the agency like, oh, we have these the production companies where we have these three people. So then the agency will look through the reels and they'll select down to like the top three because they might hit up like four different production companies. Select
Okay.
down to their top three, and then they'll ask those top three can create a treatment. So the initial storyline is two guys square off, one with razors, one with beard trimmers. The director would take that initial thing and create a whole world around it. Like so the director I work with, Siggy, he was like, oh, he like Warriors, the movie Warriors, or the movie Anchorman, where the networks meet
Yeah,
together. So
yeah, yeah.
the premise is like, oh, so we're on a basketball court, they come out the shadows and they meet up, and it's just clean shaven against the beard trimmers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he created a whole world and his treatment around it and the look for it that we talked about, and then he won the bid. So I was like, all right. The production company was like, for what we want, this is how much it will cost. It was like $500,000 to do it. So that's the budget you have to work with to create the commercial. So in that 500,000, what the director's gonna get paid from that, what I'm gonna get paid for that, how much crew we need is gonna get paid for that, like that. So then they'll give me a budget, like, all right, this is what you have to work with for camera, lenses, lighting gear,
Got you.
GE. But
Got you.
and I'm talking with I hire my heads of department, so I'll
Mhm.
hire the key grip, I'll hire the gaffer, and I'll hire my first AC, and I'll be like, all right, listen, this is what I need, this is what I'm gonna do, blah blah blah. And they're like, all right, we need this piece of equipment. It's like, all right, I want the camera to flow down from here. And it's like, all right, let's get like a techno crane for it, blah blah blah. And we'll come together. It's like a big team atmosphere.
Got it.
Like
That's
that, right?
Yeah, that's dope. So you literally like you went from a tweener, shooting guard, and small forward to the PG now, huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of sort of, yeah.
yeah. I see. I see. That's what's up, man. So yeah, you're kind of like the coach on the floor, technically.
I'm one of them. So I would say when it comes to production set, there's four coaches. You have the producer, director of photography, and the AD,
AD is the
assistant director.
oh, okay,
So
okay.
if you're on a
Oh yeah.
set, the assistant director is talking the most, and you'll think that if you didn't know nothing, you'll think that's the director. The
Mhm.
director doesn't really have to talk that much.
Okay, okay. Yeah. I thought for some reason I thought it was athletic director. I was like, wait, did we are we still sports analogy or what? But okay, cool. Now that makes sense. Damn. So like because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but because you've never had experience filming on like a $10,000 camera at home, right? Or filming your wife, how do you kind of direct someone on the best way it should look for that,
So
if that
you
makes sense?
the cool thing about this, and I mean, it's all art subjective. So like one thing,
That's
I
true.
because I used to always watch movies. Well, I watched tons and tons and tons of movies, especially being overseas.
Hmm.
I watched tons and tons of movies. So you know, what I mean, a lot of things is like movies I get ideas from, or I've been around the world 10 times over. So like on the GoDaddy commercial, what made me stand out, I walked in on set as a PA, as the lowest person there. I walked on set and they were having a discussion about putting more player paraphernalia in the guy living room. Like, would this be believable? I looked there and I just walked into conversation. I just looked and I was thinking in my head, but I just said it out loud. And I was like, this is not realistic. And they all just turned their head and looked at me and was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I used to play pro ball. It was like, if you came in my house, it wouldn't just be a trophy room in my living room of all my accomplishments. Like I might have something like that, but I'll be like in a back room area, something like that. Like in my
Yeah.
regular living room, it's gonna look like a regular living room. Like it might be a basketball in there, it might be like one trophy in there, something like that, but it's not gonna be like this whole museum. Like I
Yeah.
understand it's a comedy, but I was like, yeah, I think y'all going a little bit overboard. And you know what I mean? It's because you know you have that thought or that vision in your head, right? So a lot of it's like that, and just how I see the world. You know, what I mean, I shoot with vintage lenses because I see the world as imperfect. I don't see the world as clean and cut and clear. You know, I see the world as dirty on the edges. It has its flare moments and stuff like that. It's this softness quality to it at times, and it can look harsh at other times as well. So I like shooting
How
from.
often do you step behind the camera?
I'm always behind the camera.
Always.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah,
I'm in charge of the camera. So sometimes I operate. Sometimes I hire people to operate for me. Depending
that's
on
what I meant is
yeah.
operated. Yeah, yeah, my bad. Cool,
It,
cool.
it, it depends on it depends on the budget. It depends on what we shoot. So sometimes I feel like I need to operate because
To get your vision.
yeah. Other times, like if we're doing steady cam or if we're doing a technical crane, like somebody else is operating, I might be on the wheels or
Okay.
something like that, right? But and then my body's been torn through shreds for because of balls. So it's like if
You
I don't
can't
have
bid
to,
down.
yeah, if I don't, if you have the money that I don't have to operate for a 14-hour day,
Yeah,
we're gonna hire somebody else. We're gonna hire a younger dude. You know what I mean? And I'll
yeah.
be in the chair looking at the monitor, like, "Yo, do that take again, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
that's funny.
turn this way with it." Right? So it just really depends. Some projects, if I'm really, really passionate about it, and I feel like I could do a better job at operating,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do. But like I'm getting to a level now where I'm working with people that operate full time, and there's some great, great operators out there, and you can operate better than me to help get the vision out. So I'm like, I'll set the table and look at the monitor, and then I'm controlling the light and telling them what let's bring this down, like, well, let's
yeah,
go two stops down on this side and stuff like that. I'm in charge of painting the picture, and the director's in charge of getting the best out. The director's in charge of the whole creative and getting the most out of the actors and the
yeah.
talent.
Facts, facts. Okay. Well said. Like I never. I guess I actually a little bit. I did like some background work and acting. I still do like modeling and acting on the side. So and I've been on small sets and then kind of big sets. I've been on like 13 Reasons Why.
Okay, yeah, no,
So that's like when you get there, you're in a warehouse. You're like
mhm.
it's so many pieces moving. I'm like, yo, this is hectic. Like I'm gonna just stay here, wait for that action. You know what I mean? But you start to learn like it's literally all teamwork,
All
right?
teamwork, and it
All
it
team.
takes months of
Yeah.
prep, especially for a show like that.
Yeah.
It took months and months to prep. Like, for the TV show I did last year, like, we started prepping that we didn't shoot until September. We started prepping that in July,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
like, from tech scouts from, like, "Alright, for this scene right here, we're gonna need this type of stuff. We have to build wars here. We're gonna have
Yep.
to move this right here," and you start breaking down every day more and more and more. It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot more than just picking up a camera and just shooting.
Yeah. 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 It's funny. It's crazy too to be on like different sets and see kind of the differences in directives and creatives. Like I've been on 13 Reasons Why. I did Real World, like up until like the very end of where they select the candidates. I've done God damn, I always forget this. Rhythm and Flow.
Okay.
That's then they're all different. Like The real world is straight reality TV. You got a dude on his phone, right, following you around. Like the 13 Reasons Why, that's probably like the most like structured one. The
Yeah.
rhythm and flow, first year, everyone's scrambling. Like, what should we move locations last minute type of shit? Like, it's chaotic, but it's
Mhm.
also all the chaos brings in like a beautiful piece right at the end that you don't even see until months later or a year later, which is like it's really cool to see that down the line. But shit, yeah, we're over time, so I got 3 more questions for
Okay.
you, right? First, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Um, I'm a big shoot for the moon type person, right? So I'm in development right now of my own production company with some partners.
Oh,
So
nice.
and we want to tell our own stories and stuff like that. So hopefully we could be like a LeBron Spring Hill or A24, where we're doing like TV shows and movies from our production within the
Okay.
next years. And then within that, I'm a big believer of sending the elevator back down. So I want to be able to give people opportunity that look like me or other people of color and women of color as well. Give them opportunity to be on set. 'Cause there's so many jobs in this industry that a lot of people don't even know about. You know what I mean? And there's people that have full careers in this industry and jobs you don't even know about that like pay for their house, pay for their family. You know what I mean? And I want to be able to give people a window of opportunity into that. So that's what I want to be able to do in the next 5 years, making movies or shows that tell stories that interest people and also be able to give other people opportunities.
That's what's up, man. That's dope. I like the fact of giving back. Um, and you're 100% right. There's like little jobs on each of these sets that I've never even known about. And you're right. People make a living. They pay for their kids, pay for their housing, food, and these jobs never pop up on Indeed or
You
social
know,
media or TikTok, right? Like,
a PA was the lowest. The lowest
yeah,
in the toilet bowl pays 250 a day.
yeah, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing a lot. Yeah, you're all, you know what I mean. But that's like really good, especially if you have other investments. Like if you're taught to have other investments that work for you while you're working on set,
Mhm.
you're good. It's a good starting point. So that's a very very true, man. Very true. All right, random question. Well, have you seen the movie or the sequel, White Man Can't Jump?
No.
What? Do you refuse to watch it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why?
Some things need to just be let live. Like the first one was a classic. And I've heard people that respect their opinions, they watched it and they said it wasn't that good. Um, but I am gonna probably end up watching because the director Kalmag is a black guy, and I do like his work. So I kind of do want to see what kind of spin he did with it. But from what I heard, it doesn't live up to what the original was. And then on top of that, the actors they had in it didn't even watch the original. So it's like
S-
I don't know.
So here's how me and my wife we just watched it like a couple days ago. You
What did
gotta
you think
you,
about it?
I'll tell you you gotta go into it. First of all, I never go into it expecting it's gonna beat the original. Okay. And I think that's where a lot like I go into it not even comparing it. We're in 2 different generations. Obviously, it's not gonna be the original. And then like growing up, the original hits a lot. So fun fact, I did my actual college thesis on White Man Can't Jump, the original
Okay.
movie. Like I said, I was the only black player on my college team like for like 2 years. My school is 1% black. Like I was very into this. And so my thesis, I did a sports psychology, was White Man Can't Jump. And I like like I had white people jumping for like a whole month at school. It was hilarious. But so I was very into this. And then I went into this movie like, all right, it's gonna be nothing like the original. We're gonna get new jokes. We're gonna probably get a new storyline. Reason being is because I watched the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, one of my favorite shows, and they had did the remake Bel
Yeah.
Air, and
Mhm.
that was fire. That to me
It
that was
was. It
fire.
was. It was good.
Okay.
They're doing a good job at it. I don't like how the only knock I give about Bel Air because
Uh huh.
overall it is good though.
Uh
I
huh.
have been enjoying watching it, but Will's is super sensitive about everything. Everything's so dramatic with him.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Especially about like I hate to say it, but about us, our people.
Yeah. Yeah, everything is super dramatic
Yeah.
from it's like, "Oh, man, I stubbed my toe." Like, "How could you let me stub my toe?" Like,
Yeah.
it's just super dramatic every time, but overall, it is a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
And you're right in saying, like, what I mean, they're not supposed to tell the same story.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like some things were so good, you could just remaster it to do it
Mm.
again. Like, they're they're not doing it to bring it to a new generation. They're doing it to try to make some money, and it's a money grab,
Facts. Facts.
right?
Fact. Yeah.
You know what I
Anything.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what, for me, takes away. And people might feel totally different, and everybody. That's the great thing about art. Everybody's entitled to a different opinion,
Yeah. No,
right?
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, White Man Can Jump, I really liked it.
Okay.
So I really liked it. I like the comedy. Um, I like the fact that it kind of stayed away from trying to recreate the old one, but it had its like own spin on it. I actually do like Jack Harlow as a actor. I've seen him act in the show called Dave, and so I actually like his like quirkiness and his like jokes. I think he did really good. There were some things that I think he could improve on, but shit, it's his first big film. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, obviously room for improvement. There was this black actor in there though. I don't know his name. I gotta look it up. But he was on the team with Jack Harlow. I think he was the star of the show. His jokes were just hilarious as hell. You'll know who I'm talking about when you watch it. But yeah, I think it was cool. So I'm curious to know what you think, especially from behind the scene type of.
Well, look at the trailer and look at how it was shot. I've seen some behind the scenes photos of it. You know what I mean? It looked like it's an A1 production. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, the look of the film looks good.
for
And
sure.
stuff like that. Honestly, me not watching is just me being biased because,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
I love the original, and then being in the film industry now, learning more about the original. Like,
yeah.
Wesley Snipes can't play basketball at all. They say he couldn't hit a jump shot, nothing. But they say he was so into that character, and he did such a good job portraying that character. It's like there's no way we can't hire him for this.
That's
It's
crazy.
like it's like he couldn't hit the side of a backboard. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But, like, he was so great
You know,
in the
that's
role.
they even they kind of shitted on Wesley Snipes in this one. They like mentioned something about that. So I think they had got some history from that movie, but you'll see when you watch it. They mentioned something about that in there
Mhm.
about Wesley Snipes. So that's interesting. I never knew that. He played that character hella good.
Oh,
Damn.
but that's acting.
Yeah.
That's acting. Like,
That's beautiful.
I went and saw with an actress where she had to do an emotional scene, she had to cry. She
Uh-huh.
came in top of the day, went into a room by herself. We didn't see her until she had to come on set. She comes on set and she's bawling out crying, and she's so into it, and the director yelled, "Cut," but it's like, yo, she stayed in the mode, she was still crying while she was taking notes, and then yelled, "Action," right again, and she went back into it. Like, it was amazing to see. Like, when you run into, like, a good actor or actress, and they're really good at their job, you get such an appreciation for the craft. It's like, yo, how were you able to pull that
Yeah.
from you?
Yeah, facts. I love like being around the camera, whether it's in front of the camera or even behind and just learning about all that stuff that goes on. Like I definitely see a future in creating, directing movies, being an actor in it and stuff like that. Like it's I love the creativity as, an artist. But that's what's up, man. All right. The way I like to wrap up the show is with the segment called Guided Conclusions, where we haven't discussed the question beforehand. And so this question could be serious, it could be funny, it could make you cry. You ready?
Mhm.
All right, cool, cool. It's not that bad actually. What's the one place out of all the countries you visited that you could see yourself living for the rest of life? But the key is you can never go back to live somewhere else. Like if you want to go to like the US or whatever, you can't. You're stuck in this country for the rest of your life from tomorrow.
Can people come visit me?
Yeah, yeah. People come visit you. Now, how often does that happen? But yeah, people can.
Oh, that's tough. I I wanna say Japan. I love playing in Japan, but I just know it's on the other side of the world, so I probably won't see my family besides, like,
Yeah,
maybe 2
that's a
at a
long
time
ass
in the
flight.
whole life.
Yeah,
That's the whack stuff about it, but, like, I enjoyed living out there. I
so
really
are
enjoyed living out
I've
there.
heard great things about Japan and China. Uh, are
I
they just
didn't like China, but
you didn't?
Japan Japan I love. China,
Why
I don't wanna
why
go back.
not China? Just because of the like politics there and like the rules or what?
Yes, that. I was in a small province called Fiji,
Okay.
so it's like they never seen somebody that looked like me besides for TV. And then everybody thought like there was like what 3, 4 black players on our team. They thought everybody was Kobe. So they walk up to me like Kobe, Kobe, Kobe. I'm like,
Mhm.
nah. And it was turned to the person next to me like Kobe, Kobe.
Mm.
Like they love basketball out there, like probably more so than anywhere I ever played. Um they like broke into my apartment, attempt to take pictures with me like late at night. Like so that was like
What?
unnerving. Um it was just uncomfortable, man. Like I saw some stuff out there because like the bigger cities are more North Americanized, like the Shanghai's,
Mhm.
Guangzhou's, like
Yeah.
those are more natural. Like it's like going to any other city. It's just that
Okay.
there's more Asian people than other
Uh-huh.
cities. um, but like the smaller provinces, they're like 10, 20 years behind. So it's like I seen some stuff out there, man, that's just like, yo, what? Like we was on the bus, like on a to go to another city to go play a team, and we had to go through these mountains, and like so like on this mountain path driving this big team bus, and on the left side of us is like a cliff, and it's like there's no guardrail, it's just death. Like
Mhm.
you know, when you fall off the cliff, you're dead.
Mhm.
And we're on this like dirt road, whatever, and then on the right side is like these little houses, these little village houses, whatever. And it was a baby walking in the middle of the street, like a 3-year-old baby just walking, butt cheeks all out, no pamper on, just walking. And the bus slows down, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" So I look, and like, the manager and the bus driver and the coach are like arguing stuff like that. So I turn to one of my teammates. No, I'm just gonna turn to an interpreter. I'm like, "Yo, can you explain to me what's going on? Like, why they're arguing?" It's like, "Oh, there's a baby in the street, and they're trying to tell the bus driver to drop around it." And I was like, "What?" And I look out the window, and I was like, "Yo, this fucking baby right there. Why don't we like get
Or
out the
pick it
bus
up.
and pick
Yeah.
find his parents, or it
Yeah.
might walk off the side of this cliff and die." And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. They'll make a new one." And we like they was like, "Yo, we're late. We can't be late." And they drove the bus around the baby and left it there. It was like stuff like that you'll see, and like
Jesus.
yeah. And then it was like in the restaurants in the city we were staying at. Like I said, it's a very small province, a very small city, and they're not used to seeing us like that. So like we'll go out to eat, and they'll put us in the front of the restaurant by the window, and it was like kind of like animals in a zoo. So you ever been to the zoo before? Like they're feeding the
Mhm.
tigers, something like that, or
They're
feeding
just
animals.
looking by, yeah.
People are banging on the windows for the tigers to turn their head, take a picture.
Mhm.
It was like that, and like being in that situation makes me I don't go back to the zoo no more. It just like
Yeah.
yeah, it was very I didn't like it. I'll put it to you like that. Like I don't discourage anybody from going to China because my experience might not be your experience. But
Yeah.
like for me, I'm going back to China one more time in my life because I didn't get to see the Great Wall while I was there because I broke out my contract and left early. I was just uncomfortable in the situation I was in. So I'm gonna go back because when me and my big bro, one of our dreams was to
Yeah.
actually go to the Great Wall together and see
Huh.
it. So like I still have to hit that on our bucket list for both of us.
Make
So I
sure you vlog it. You gotta vlog
yeah,
it. You learned your lesson, man. Come on.
yeah. I am gonna go back at least one more time,
For sure.
but after that, China can, like, drop off the face of the earth for me, and
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. All right. Sorry. One more about Japan. Is Japan and like I guess Tokyo's there? Are they just like ahead of us, like the
Yeah,
U.S.
yeah.
by?
Technology-wise,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Damn.
By,
So
like
like, how are they? I just don't understand how they're like not better than the U.S. Like, how is Japan not there at
but
like?
they are.
No, I
Um,
meant like. I mean, I guess as like you hear everyone come to America for the American dream, where you hear like our dollar is better than Japan's dollar, but like their technology is just years in front of us, and yet still people want to be in America.
so it's a smaller country,
Hmm.
right? And then America has done what America's done well in the past is marketed itself as the land of dreamers.
Hmm.
You can come here with nothing and create wealth and stuff like that, and you can't really do that in so many other countries, right?
Hmm.
So they market itself really well, and then it's the culture. You know what I mean? It's a saying that goes around like everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. People like the culture, the black culture, but nobody actually wants to really be black, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like the black culture is used all around the world.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? I got off the plane off of Saudi Arabia, and one of my teammates came up to me singing the Bobby Shmurda song. Like, I caught a body about a week ago. I'm like, the song reached out here in the desert. Like, you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
it's one of the American culture is one of the cultures that has traversed through the world, and it's not like that everywhere. So that's why it's so glorified. And then I don't know exactly how they got the American dollar to be as great as it is, but that was another great marketing ability that America has done. But on the other side of things, like, um, Japan's very safe. Like, their police officers don't carry guns. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And
Like,
their streets are like hella clean, right?
they carry their
Like,
garbage with them.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't just
Yeah.
dump it. No,
Yeah.
carry our garbage with you. They're very intelligent. They speak English very well, and then the Japanese language is very hard to learn. You know what I mean? To learn it correctly,
Dialect.
you to like
Hmm.
the age of 16. You know what I mean? Like, it's they're very big on respect in their
Hmm.
culture and stuff like that. Now they do overwork their people a lot, but like other than that, like, I mean, it was amazing. The food was great. The culture was amazing. The sports out there was great. It was safe living. And then the technology, like, I was out there, what, '09, 2010?
Hmm.
They had Ring doorbells out there when I was out there. Ring didn't come out here, like,
Until like
until
a couple years ago, before the
yeah,
pandemic.
yeah, like, my cell phone, if the mail would bring a package, they ring the doorbell and it calls my cell phone, I could look at them, and, like, I'll leave
That,
it there. Like,
that's
that was
crazy.
out there already. They had FaceTime on their phones out when I was out there already. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There was, like, they was just ahead of us
Yeah.
when it comes to technology.
Have you been back since?
Yeah, so 'cause it's one of my favorite places that I played and lived at. So, when we got married, I used to always tell my wife about it. We went there for our, honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
So
That's what's up.
we spent, like, 12 days out there, and I took her all around, and, she loves it. And then we just did our 5-year anniversary, so we went to Thailand for, like, half of January, and then, one of my teammates, he was a rookie when I was like 6 years, 7 years in playing pro,
Uh-huh.
and I was helped teach him how to be a pro. He's a 10-year pro, and he's been in Japan playing for the last 7 years. So on our way back home, we stopped there. Yeah,
Nice.
a couple days to see him, see his wife,
Yeah.
his family out there, and
He's
catch
still
up.
playing?
Yep, still playing.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
doing really
That's what's
good,
up.
man. So we
Yeah,
we was there in January for like a day or 2.
I gotta get. I want to go to Thailand. I don't know if I should go to Thailand or Japan first. What do you recommend?
Uh, So, thing about Japan, it is expensive,
Hmm.
but you will enjoy it. You
Okay,
know what I mean? Thailand is cheap, and you will enjoy
and
it.
you will enjoy it. I know that's literally. I've only heard great things about Thailand, and obviously the how cheap it is. Like you could live like a king out there.
Japan, I would say more for the culture, because
Okay.
you do Tokyo, which is a great city, but it's a city, just like any other
Hmm.
city, but, like, you will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um, Thailand, if you still wanna do, like, 'cause you sound like you like the beaches and stuff like that. Thailand, you can do beaches, you can do some luxury places for cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when food's good and everything like that. I wouldn't recommend staying in Bangkok more than 3 to 4 days. Bangkok could get very overwhelming. There's a lot
Uh,
going on in
it's
Bangkok.
too much like city, like too city, too
Yeah,
much
there's a
city.
lot of people, a lot of city, and it's just like you know what I mean? It could get overwhelming.
Is
3
it
to 4
safe,
days and
safe,
then
safe in out
yeah,
there in Thailand?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That wasn't a problem or anything like that. It's just that it's just a lot. Traffic's a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a lot. But the food's good. There's stuff to do out there. But I would recommend for Bangkok 3, 4 days to hit an island, and you can come back to Bangkok on your way out because you're gonna fly out from Bangkok. But
Got you.
Japan, you spend your whole time in Tokyo. You can spend your whole time in Osaka or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the culture is just amazing there.
How long is the flight from Thailand to Japan?
What was it? 5 hours?
Okay,
5 or
not too.
6 hours, something like that.
It's like from West Coast to East Coast.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool, cool.
Now
Not
the
bad.
flight to get to Asia is gonna be about
20
12 months.
21, right?
No, 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 no. Well, if you do a layover, then yeah, it'll get to that long. But if you do a straight flight, you'll probably be like 15 to
Oh,
13
okay,
hours.
okay, not bad. Oh, but is that from West Coast or New York?
East Coast. So if you're on the
East
West
Coast.
Coast, it'll probably be a little bit shorter, I think.
Shit, yeah, I don't know. I'm not good with geography. My wife is, so I gotta ask her. But you might be right.
I think it might be a little bit shorter if you're leaving from the West Coast.
For sure, for sure. Man, well, this has been great. This has been a great episode. I think you dropped a lot of gems on basketball, but as well as like stuff that I didn't even know about the world of like cinematography. You feel me? So I appreciate that. I'm sure the audience will appreciate that. You want to let everyone know how they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I mean, you can find me on TikTok as well too, but at Duno Wong, DONOWONGE. And yeah, my email is attached there, or you can go to my website, darrellwong.com. And the best, if you ever want to reach out to me, the best way for me to get back in contact with you is either through DM for Instagram or through email.
Nice. Where's your last name come from?
I'm part Chinese. I don't look
Really?
at, yeah, I don't look at it at all, but I'm part Chinese.
Bro,
My
you don't
great
look
grandfather,
any Chinese.
no, I don't. My great grandfather is from Guangzhou, China.
So on your mom's side or your dad's side?
My dad's side.
So what does your dad look like? Does he look like more Chinese?
You see it a little bit in him, but his father, you see it in him.
Oh, got you. Okay. But your dad looks like more black Chinese,
Yeah.
like Blasian.
My 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 grandfather looks Blasian,
Oh,
like
got you.
but more Chinese Blasian. My
Uh,
uh, um, biological father, he's you see it a little bit him, but it's the black's still more predominant. But like my
got you.
grandfather, he'd be like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah. Nice, nice. Well, that's what's up, man. I appreciate the time up here. It's been a pleasure. You guys heard it here. This is the Misguided Podcast. Where we intend to guide you to a better future. Again, I'm sitting here with Darrell Wonge. Make sure you go check him out. He's got some really cool stuff on his Instagram, all his reels and stuff, and even follow him on TikTok. So, yep. See you guys on the other side.